Welcome back to Evangelism Now. Thank those of you who are here with us for coming back and join us. Tap in, maybe text someone, share this video with someone, share the podcast with someone that will be perhaps engaging in it. Do some commenting on YouTube and Facebook. That's where we're airing from, and certainly we thank you for coming back to join us. I have a tremendous privilege today of a very good friend of mine who has come into the studio with me, and we'll see him in just a few minutes. But I want to just take this opportunity to introduce him, Bishop Clarence Kelby Heath, who is the 64th Bishop of the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, currently serves as the presiding prelate of the 5th Episcopal District, comprising Alabama and Florida. Before his election to his episcopacy, he pastored several congregations for more than 28 years, a native of Milledgeville, Georgia, where the Georgia peaches are grown, and that's where I'm from. And so Bishop Heath earned his Bachelor of Business Administration degree from Augusta University, later receiving a Master of Divinity and a Master of Arts in Christian Education from the only seminary of the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, the Phillips School of Theology at the Interdenominational Theological Center. He also earned both a Doctor of Theology and a Doctor of Ministry, focusing on Christian leadership and the itinerant ministry of the CME Church. Bishop Heath has served numerous leadership roles and community roles, including an educator, trustee board, chair of Miles College, and he's also a published author. He currently serves as pastor of the Carter Tabernacle CME Church in Orlando, Florida. He's married to his college sweetheart, Lakeisha Young Heath, and they are proud parents of 2 adult sons. I'm delighted to have him here because he's a good friend of mine, and we go way back from our Georgia roots. Our mothers know each other, family members know each other, and so I'm just delighted to have him here in the studio with me today. Welcome back, my friends, to Evangelism Now. This is Pastor Kenneth L. Hollingshed, and I told you I was going to have my good friend, Bishop Clarence Kelby Heath, here in the studio with me. As you know, I am offering myself as a candidate for evangelism and missions for the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, and the General Conference actually is right around the corner, and so we are featuring my newly published book, Outreach is the Architecture of Evangelism. And in it, there are a lot of different components of evangelism, and actually it's a little bit over 300 pages, 16 chapters in this book, very in-depth writing that I did on the work of evangelism, outreach, and missions. And Bishop Heath and I are going to delve in and see what we can extract from this book. Today we're going to deal with leadership in evangelism, because everything requires leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And today he is a stellar leader who has led people of God for many, many years, and now in his capacity as an Episcopal leader, a bishop serving over a particular region, more specifically serving over Alabama and Florida. has hundreds of churches, hundreds of pastors, and so what better person to talk about leadership? And so in chapter 8 of the book, I describe what is called collaborative leadership as the framing and the support for the structure of evangelism with Jesus as the cornerstone. And and so, Bishop E, what, in your opinion, how can Episcopal leaders, pastors, ministry leaders, and laity work together more effectively to build a culture of evangelism and strengthen outreach ministries within the church?
Well, Reverend Hollished, let me first say how much I really appreciate you extending an invitation for me to participate on your podcast.
Yes, sir.
It's just a delight to be able to be here today to share with you and your audience, and just look forward to our conversation about leadership and evangelism.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And that question again, in terms of my opinion, in terms of how Episcopal leaders and pastors and ministry leaders and laity work together more effectively to build a culture of evangelism and strengthen outreach ministries within the church. One of the things that come to my mind is how each leader needs to have some idea about evangelism. I think sometimes we assume that folk are on the same plane that we are.
Okay.
And we place expectations what they don't even know about in the first place.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that came to mind as I thought about your question. And so then it becomes, if we're expecting people to collaborate or work together, they need to bring something to the table to be effective.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. There's a noted psychologist in my book, Dr. Daniel Goleman. He does the work around emotional intelligence. And when I discuss chapter 8, talking about emotional intelligence and how that matters in leadership, I want you to share perhaps some of your personal experiences, how emotional intelligence rather influences a leader's ability to have healthy relationships, navigate conflict in congregations, and create a culture that supports evangelism. Let me just bear that out for just a moment, because on page number 121 in my book, emotional intelligence is the cornerstone of leaders. And in this chapter, Goleman really digs in deep and breaks it out in terms of several factors every leader needs to have. And I'll just share just a few of them. Self-awareness. Every leader has to have self-awareness, self-regulation, emotional accountability, because we all have to have accountability. Every leader needs to have a sense of empathy for persons. To connect with people, you've got to have empathy. Perspective taking, social awareness. What is your context? Relational management, and then finally, emotional facilitation. That's a whole lot when you deal with emotional intelligence, but I'm sure you've had to deal with your own. You've had to deal with other pastors and leaders in your respective Episcopal district. And so just speak to that, if you will.
Yes, sir. Let me first of all say to Reverend Hollished how much I appreciate your book. I've had a chance to glance through it a couple of times and pick out certain key areas just to focus on. And we don't talk much about emotional intelligence.
Right.
We just talk about people being intelligent or being smart.
Right.
But it is a little bit more to it. And as I looked in your book where you actually broke down the 5 EIs according to Dr. Goleman, or psychologist Dr. Goleman. And of course, you saw where you expanded it from 5 to 8. But if I can just highlight the 5, is self-awareness, self-regulation, emotional accountability, empathy, and then social skills.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I think is extremely important for any leader
Mm-hmm.
is to have a sense of self-awareness. I remember when we studied this in psychology, we call it self-actualization.
Yes.
The
Yes.
idea that an individual has spent time with self
Yes.
to really know how they tick and how they talk, if I can say it that way.
Okay. TikTok. That's right.
But a lot of people are afraid to really take time to do that deep dive, to really pull the mask or to pull the layers back, to really see who they really are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, and when you look at that, we really need that kind of leader in today's church.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because we're dealing with a myriad of things as you navigate the perplexities of personal life and community life and global life and where we live. And so we've got to have a sense of emotional intelligence to navigate through those things. And in chapter 13, Bishop Heath, I deal with something else that sometimes we don't talk about. It's actually called the daily maintenance, a day in the life of a full-time pastor.
Yes, sir.
That's 198
Yes, sir.
in the book. And of course, prior to you being elevated to the office of bishop, you and I pastored together in the same city.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and
That's
you
right.
and I both were full-time pastors.
Full time.
And I'm still a full-time pastor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And there's so many things that happen in the life
Wow.
of a pastor.
So true.
And beyond the front door, sometimes people see pastoring as glamorous. They see pastors as always up front and in the mic. But now we want to talk about the hidden rooms
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
of a pastor's life beyond Sunday, beyond Bible study, beyond all the special days that we deal with, or beyond just being in a mic, because there are some things that shepherds
That's right.
have to deal with. And in this book, we deal with the wounds of a shepherd.
Yes, sir.
We talk about being a wounded healer. While helping others, you're carrying your own pain.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
sometimes people have somehow dehumanized
So true.
pastors.
So true.
And we're I would say it like this: we people too,
So true.
and
Yes, sir.
human
Yes,
too,
sir.
and have human frailties. We deal with loss in our private rooms, and even now, as I'm sitting here doing a podcast, my mother is in Georgia, and
Yes, sir.
she is experiencing stage 4 cancer,
Yes, sir.
and she's on hospice.
So
And so she and I, we talk every day, 2 or 3 times a day. She lets me know how she's doing. But Bishop, that is a weight
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that I'm carrying. Even though I'm traveling there periodically to visit her, I'm thinking about her daily when
Yes,
other people may not be thinking about her because that's not their mama.
So true. So true.
And yes, I have support systems here in Texas, prayer lines and church members who are always asking about mother, and I thank God for all of them. But that's a load for any pastor to have to carry. And so I want you to just kind of expand on that and talk about pastors who are dealing with pain in leadership,
Wow.
how that affects the church, the health of the church, how that affects a person who is pastoring. And I believe you can share some things with us, especially with
Oh,
your
wow.
role.
Yes, sir. Most certainly. A lot of things come to mind. In fact, the past 5 or 6 weeks I've been preaching from Isaiah chapter 53 about how Christ was wounded for us.
Wow.
And in fact, you mentioned Henry Nouwen a moment ago,
Yes.
the wounded healer.
Yes.
And I was doing some additional reading. I can't remember the scholar's name, but the wounded are healed by people who have been wounded.
Wow.
And
My.
so I've been spending a lot of time dealing with wounds, including my own.
Okay.
One of the things I would say to a church when I was pastoring is how you don't know me from preaching on Sunday.
Yes. Okay.
And I felt that it's unfair. because people try to, they make every attempt to size you up in that 30-minute sermon or
Okay.
when they see you for a few minutes on Sunday. And the other reality is a lot of people don't cross the line, so to speak, of trying to become acquainted with the pastor.
Okay.
They rushing out the door,
Yes.
for that matter, trying to speak to anybody else. So I think members don't take time to really get to know a pastor and their families at times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the work of every leader is to bear his or her weight
Yes, sir.
and wounds.
Yes, sir.
And while we all have some, and I broke it down as a blueprint, carrying the blueprint, the pastor's spiritual discipline. It's on page 203 in my book, and then on page 205, it's the interior framework. 5 core tasks of pastoral work. If you're a pastor of any kind at all, these are 5 areas that all of us embody.
That's right. That's right.
Spiritual leadership, pastoral care, community engagement, administrative oversight, and sermon preparation. If you're going to have a thriving church, or
That's
if you're
right.
going to have any kind of church,
That's right.
these are aspects
That's right.
of every pastor. And so I want you to speak to the spiritual leadership. I know you can do that, and pastoral leadership. Matter of fact, you can speak to all 5 of them if you want to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As my previous guest, my dear friend, Dr. Jeremy Williams,
Yes, sir.
said, let me just do it all.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, I start in that same vein.
Okay.
Here again, as we look at these 5 items: spiritual leadership, pastoral care, community engagement, administrative oversight, and sermon preparation. The spiritual leadership, and if I can include too, because you've talked about genuine care
Yes.
as well, is about really how the pastor engages the members, not just on Sunday, but through the week and other moments.
I love
And
it. I love it.
we can call these the grace moments, the
Okay.
moments where we are in prayer together,
Yes.
in study together, we're in fellowship together. So it helps to bind us. We get to know each other in a healthy way,
Okay.
and it also helps with trust
Yes.
and things of that nature. When we talk about pastoral care, and this is one that a lot of pastors forget. They think
Yes.
they can just go in on Sunday and go
Right.
back out.
That's right.
But you need to call and check on the members and
Yes.
visit the members. And if something comes up and you're not able to go to them, here again,
Okay.
you can get a call in, or there's always trusted members that you can
Yes.
rely on to assist you so that folk will know that you're thinking about them.
Okay.
And
Okay.
another area, community engagement. You mentioned I have the privilege of not only serving as a bishop, but I'm also pastor now, going
Yes.
into 2 years.
Yes.
And just yesterday, our congregation was at the Rock Lake Elementary School,
Okay.
and we had a director of Christian education and some assisting her serving the teachers food during Teachers Appreciation
Excellent.
Week.
I love it.
Yes,
and I love it.
Yes, and
Wow.
administrative oversight is something we have to be about every week in terms of, making sure that the bills are paid and incomes are in place in terms of what the stewards are doing, and encouraging tithes. Hey, y'all got to encourage tithes and offerings now. You just can't show up, and it'd be helpful, Pastor, if you can contribute as well.
Absolutely.
And then this last item, sermon preparation, which is really extremely important for every pastor to place as a priority. Each pastor needs to spend on less than 10, 12, 15 hours a week
Absolutely.
preparing for a sermon. And I'm old school.
Yeah.
Leave AI out of this one.
Right.
And if you use AI and technology, it should be used at a minimum,
Yes.
but not to replace the hard knocks of praying and seeking the Lord for a word.
Absolutely. So we're in the same vein when it comes to sermon preparation, because I know from 15 to 18 hours a week.
Yes, sir.
I'm digging in
Yes, sir, that's it.
commentaries and all kinds of other resources to pull what I believe God is leading me to pull.
That's right.
Together.
That's right. That's right.
And in the lectionary, some are lectionary preachers.
Yes, sir.
And but sometimes I will do lectionary, but primarily we are seeking God for what God has to say through me for pastoral work.
That's right.
For
That's
this
right.
particular congregation.
That's right.
And while you were speaking about your community engagement, about schools, Morning Chapel has a tremendous partnership with several schools
That's good.
in the
Excellent.
area.
Excellent.
One primary school is I Am Terrell um, High School, and one one season of ministry. I'll say that we did a lunch for the entire staff
That's good.
of that school, and we took it over and served all of the teachers,
That's
all
good.
of the
Yes, sir.
administration, and they were
Yes, sir.
certainly wowed by
Awesome. Yes,
what the
sir.
church, and that's a part of our fellowship
Yes, sir.
and partnership
That's it.
with the community, and we do ongoing work with that school.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were there, we asked them, well, who are your graduating seniors?
That's it.
Because
Yes,
we
sir.
want to be a blessing
That's right.
to all of the seniors.
That's
and
good.
so what we did is we put together care packages and
Mm-hmm.
care baskets for every person who was a graduating senior
That's right.
and donated it to them to give them somewhat of a start
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in their college life. And so it was just a beautiful thing to do.
Awesome.
And again, we have persons who sponsor that effort with finances, who support that effort with finances so that we can do those things. But while we're pastoring, through all of this personal pain, it seems like a paradox of ministry to do ministry and wrestle with your own pain too.
That's right. That's
but
right.
you have to do it.
That's right.
I believe I put as I wrote this, I was wrestling with Paul the Apostle, describing his own weaknesses.
That's right.
In,
That's right. That's right.
2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2, and he spoke it out very clearly about dealing with a thorn
Yes, sir.
in the flesh.
That's right.
And I believe that there's a blessing in the thorn.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
blessing
right.
in that thorn. And for preachers who are young in ministry, they may not see it as a blessing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
may see it
That's
as
right.
a curse.
That's right.
But as you grow older and mature in ministry, you say, this is a blessing.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
glad,
That's
God,
right.
that you allowed
right.
this thorn to be here because it identifies me first and foremost as human. I'm
right.
glad that I can feel it.
That's right. Oh yeah, definitely.
And I'm also glad that it keeps me in an humble place.
That's it. That's right.
So that while I'm serving the people. So I want you to dig a little bit deeper, Bishop, and
Yes, sir.
deal with evangelism throughout your Episcopal district of
Okay.
Florida and Alabama. And what are some of the innovative evangelism efforts that you've seen in some of your churches? And you can mention, any person by name if you want to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me do this. First of all, thank you for that question. I want to say that it is not a surprise that the pandemic affected many of our churches from 2020 through 2023.
Yes, absolutely.
And so it's taken some time for a lot of congregations to get back on their feet.
Right.
And one thing I've noticed, I think I read in Christian Century, where they too are starting to document in the Pew Research and Hartford Institute Research, that churches are starting to get on their increase, so to speak. Things are not as bad as they used to be.
Okay.
I said that to say that I want to salute all the pastors in the 5th Episcopal District, Alabama and Florida,
Yes.
where I visited a number of congregations in the last 4 years, and they're not only on their feet,
Wow.
but they're growing. In the
Praise
past year and
God.
a half to
Praise
2
God.
years, we're hearing more baptisms that are taking place. I know I've baptized at least 3 or 4 infants in the last, several months. And so we see a different turnaround right now where churches are growing. There's a desire to be back in the house of God.
Yes.
Some people have a renewed interest in the faith.
Yes.
Then we had that other group still trying to hold on to the past.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Y'all need to wake up because I think God is doing a great thing and a new thing for us right now. Some of the things I would say that are helpful when we talk about doing evangelism and outreach of faith sharing, I want to pull some pages back from pastoring.
Okay.
Make sure you have a good evangelistic team.
Yes.
But
yes.
that doesn't mean that the congregation itself is not involved in evangelism.
Right.
You just have a team that helps to lead the effort. And, of course, you have that in your work as well, your
yes,
book.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And
yes,
the
sir.
second thing is I think it's important to challenge every board and minister of the church to choose one ministry or service outside of the church.
I love it. I
Not
love
a
it.
program, but something away from the church that they
Yes.
can engage in. It might
Yes.
be once a month. It could be sometime during the year. It
Yes.
may be during Thanksgiving or Christmas, but some other area, nursing home, a women's battle shelter. And in those kind of situations, you have to know the rules and the policies and things of that nature.
Right.
Maybe prison works. We
Yes.
just got through talking about school, and I give an example. We have, as an evangelistic way of inviting people to the church and reaching out to others. Fourth Sunday, we're doing Student Recognition Day. We
Yes.
share with our director. We want to honor the persons who are members of the church that are graduating.
Excellent.
And let the people know that if they have any family members that are graduating, they don't have to be members of the church.
Okay.
Let
Okay.
them know they can come.
You hear that?
Tell them to
You
put
hear that?
on their graduation and
Yes.
cap and come to church, and we're going to have a celebration. But get this, the third element is, and tell any and everybody if they want to, put on their college or university jersey or alma mater. And if
Okay.
they haven't finished college or university, go get that high school T-shirt.
Okay.
But it's an integral way to have fun
Yes.
and invite people where we can witness,
Okay.
and it opens up doors. So that's just one example. And of course, I can go on because this is something that I feel it should be a natural part
Yes.
of what we do in the life and work of the church.
Absolutely. That's excellent work, Bishop, and I appreciate you sharing that. And I've actually seen you do it since our churches, when we were pastoring in the same city, Fort Worth. I believe we may have been maybe 8 to 10 minutes away from
Yes,
each
sir.
other,
Yes, sir.
and doing similar work. We both
That's right.
pastored throughout the pandemic.
Yes, sir.
And
Oh,
so
yes.
it was some rigorous work, but we had to get it done.
That's
And so
it.
all of these evangelism efforts and outreach efforts, they're very essential
That's right.
for the life of the congregation.
That's right.
And another blueprint space that we talk about in leadership is grief and recovery. We don't talk about that much.
Wow.
But we have a lot of pastors and leaders, that's on page 210, who are grieving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we're trying to move throughout the pain. Jesus grieved.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know, he had a dear friend by the name of Lazarus,
So true. That's
and
right.
he was grieving. First of all, the sickness of Lazarus, and then, of course, he grieved the death
That's right.
of Lazarus. And his other good friends, Mary and Martha, they accused Jesus of showing up late. They said,
That's
"Hey,
right. That's right.
we told you, we sent word.
Yeah, if you had been here,
If you there you go. If you had been
my
here,
brother would not
my
have died.
brother would not have died." But Jesus said, "I was grieving too.
That's right.
I was
That's
on
right.
my way. I was doing ministry. I was trying to get here." And sometimes that's where pastors and leaders are trying to lift themselves,
That's right.
carry the load, and get to that place
Exactly.
where sometimes I've been out of town when I've had persons in the congregation to transition,
Yes, sir.
and I can't get there right then,
That's right.
and I've got to share with that family and say, "Hey, pastor's out of the city,
That's right.
but as soon as I get back in the city,
Yes, sir.
you'll be my first stop."
Yes, sir.
And by and large, many people who are parishioners who understand their leader,
That's right.
they'll give you grace.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
they'll give you
That's
grace.
right.
Since
That's
the pastor will understand when you get here, we can't do anything anyway until you get back.
That's right.
And let's sit down and plan together. But there are those who, on the outside of that kind of care or relationship with the pastor, who want the pastor or the leader to be there right then.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm in
Yes,
a
sir.
crisis, and because I'm in a crisis, I need everybody to stop what they're doing
Right.
and get to me. And so I'm glad that I have a very effective and efficient staff
Yes, sir.
of ministers. Some pastors may not have that, but I'm blessed to have it, and so I can call upon any of our preachers.
Yes, sir.
To
Yes,
say,
sir.
go to so and so, or go to the hospital, or go to that particular person, and begin to act on my behalf.
Exactly.
Until I get there. Now, don't be the pastor, but you go there and say, I'm here on the pastor's stead, and I just want to see what can I do
Yes, sir.
until the
Yes, sir.
pastor gets here. but remembering how to recover
Mm-hmm.
through painful seasons. I don't know if you can think of a, a time, Bishop, when you were in a painful season.
Oh, Reverend Holly, shit, I can't think of a time I wasn't
Oh,
in a painful season. I want to say, if we go back to the piece in terms of self-awareness, I've accepted my nothingness,
wow, wow.
and that without God and people in faith who add to my life, my wife,
Okay.
sons,
Yeah.
people like you that
Yeah.
have been close,
Yes, sir.
you help me to rise above the lowliness of life.
Yes, sir.
And but
Wow.
right now I grieve. My wife has had a lot of death in the last few years.
Mm.
I lost uncle who was very close to one of the few uncles I have left a few weeks back. And right now, as we speak, I'm working with two different families with
Okay.
funerals. I was on the phone yesterday morning
Yes,
helping
sir. Yes, sir.
a daughter work through her mother's funeral, who is close to 80 years old.
Yes, sir.
And on that note, speaking to a wife who's a preacher and her husband is a pastor, and he died. So
Wow.
in my mind,
Wow.
we talked about sermon preparation. There's just a little corner in my
Yes,
head
sir.
that's
Yes, sir.
steadily working on sermons.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to sharing with the family. But those are some wounds and pains I'm carrying right now. If I could just say this very briefly,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I found that's been helpful, every 3 or 4 years I will go into professional counseling.
Mm.
And I do it for about 6 to 8 weeks just to sit down and talk. And right now that's what I'm doing as we speak.
Okay.
Just to make sure I'm sorting through my thoughts and my feelings, because so much is going on and it's
Yes.
much greater than me.
Right.
And
Right.
then of
right.
course having my daily devotion with God and prayer and whatnot. So that's what's been keeping me.
I really appreciate you saying that, because this is for the people who are anti any kind of therapy,
Mm-hmm.
any kind of counseling. They don't feel like they need it, but I have to keep mine on speed dial.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just to
Yes, sir.
have a place, a safe and sacred place to land,
Right.
and say, "Hey, this is too big for me. How do you think I should navigate through this
Exactly.
particular place?" So I really appreciate you saying that. And so, if we're going to build a lasting kind of culture of evangelism, what qualities, Bishop, do you believe leaders must intentionally cultivate to help the church move forward and to remain effective in what I consider in my book, reaching people?
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
got to
sir.
keep reaching people. That is the core of evangelism and discipleship is reaching the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I wrote, and I want to refer back to my notes,
Okay,
is
please
that
do.
we have to be people of character.
Yes.
And I've seen too in your book where genuine care, which leads me to say this: we really need to know how to love God,
Yes.
love ourselves, and love people. Because no matter what type of outreach or evangelism we do, if love is not in the mix of it, or the foundation rather,
Right.
then the question is, what are we doing?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So genuinely caring to people will make you want to reach out to them and desire for them to be saved and have the best for themselves and their families. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. Because now my entire ministry has always been about reaching people
Yes, sir.
from all walks of life. And it's not just having people in the pews.
That's right.
It's
That's
about connecting and engaging
That's right.
those persons, whether in the pews or outside of the four walls
Exactly. That's right.
of the
That's
church.
right.
I
That's
want to be able to reach them, and so I'm thanking God and praising God daily for the opportunity to reach people. Now, because we're right around the corner from the general conference, I've got to ask you this, and you can say it in the most radical way or the most humble way that you desire, Bishop, because we got to have some strong conversations
Exactly.
about evangelism and missions of our church. And I would say, what message would you send to the leadership of our church
Wow.
about evangelism and missions of our church? Both of us know
Right.
where we should be, but I want to just hear your heart
Yes,
about
sir.
evangelism and missions. Yes.
This might be appear to be a harsh statement,
Okay.
but a church that doesn't have outreach or evangelism
Yes.
is not supposed to grow.
Oh, wow.
It should die.
It should die. Hmm.
And that's the reality that a lot of clergy
Yes.
and lay folk, you don't open your door and folk just gonna show up.
Okay. Right. Right.
In fact, I was telling my wife I saw a new business on a main thoroughfare in Florida. I said, no, it ain't gonna work. They ain't got no traffic flow.
Right.
In
You're
other
right.
words, people just don't show up to church.
They don't. No.
And so if we don't have any intentionality in terms of how we reach out to folk
Okay.
for Christ first and foremost,
Hmm.
and then what we offer at the local church, then why are people there?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I've seen your ministry, and you're
Yes.
very active, daily, weekly type
Yes.
of congregation where
Yes.
people's gifts are being shared and explored.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of churches are more concerned about the cemetery that's behind the church than they are the people that are across the street in the neighborhood.
Wow.
And that's real talk.
That's powerful, and it's relevant. It's,
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, it's real talk. One of the things that's happening even now is Morning Chapel is about to embark upon the 158th church anniversary
Wow.
celebration.
Awesome.
And we have 2 nights of revival that leads up to the culmination,
Good.
which is that celebration, preaching and teaching both. But the young adult
Yes, sir.
are leaders of
Awesome.
the church anniversary.
That's awesome.
And so when you got young leadership,
Yes, sir.
they do young things.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
they stood
That's right.
before the congregation. They said, "We got to get on TikTok." And
Yeah,
everybody started looking like, "Oh, what?" Said, "We're gonna get on TikTok. We're gonna invite people to come because that is an untapped
That's right.
population
That's right.
for many churches."
That's right.
And we're also going to get on Instagram. And
Good,
we're going to
good.
invite people to come because, in addition to the 158 years, this is their challenge to our church. We want 158 new visitors.
All right. Awesome.
That's number
Awesome.
one.
That's
Number two, we need the church to engage in 158 community service hours.
Okay.
We
Awesome.
want to engage.
Awesome.
And now, of course, we need your $158 too.
Yes, sir.
And so
No
what
doubt.
we're going to
No
do to
doubt.
help you to get that, we're going to do the popcorn sales.
All right, yes, that's it. Popcorn.
The good popcorn that you order offline. I think they do it about 2 or 3 days. And so double good.
That's it.
popcorn
Yes, sir.
sales.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, and so you just send it to your friends and they order.
Exactly.
And double good will just send it straight to their home.
That's right.
And I thought that these were all creative and imaginative things
That's right.
that we can do so that everybody
That's it.
can
That's it.
participate in the celebration. And man, the excitement that is in the air
That's good.
is actually amazing
Awesome.
because
Awesome.
every person feels like they are a part of it. We just had the 3 persons who are leading it, Michaela, Kingston, and Raven. They're leading it. And so Kingston did an impromptu Instagram song, an invitation.
Wow.
This past Sunday, and
Awesome.
stood up before. He said, "We're gonna sing, celebrate, and we're gonna invite everybody to come."
Is that cool in the game?
Yeah,
Celebrate?
celebrate, yeah. And man, they did it. They
Wow.
did it, man. And
Wow.
now he's posted it on several of his
Wow.
social media streams. And when he was at home a few days ago, he said, "Daddy, that thing is up to several thousand views
Wow.
of me." I said, "Because you're young
Wow.
and you're reaching a young audience."
That's right.
And so now they're interested. And so
Wow.
I applaud him because he is certainly doing the work of the church
That's
and
good.
evangelism. He's one of the young people,
That's
along with others who are still in church,
That's good. That's good.
still love the church, still love God.
Awesome.
And I thank God and praise the Lord for that. And he's brought several of his friends
Awesome.
from the University of North Texas.
Wow.
All are musicians.
Yes, sir.
It's a music school.
Yes, sir. That's right.
A lot of musicians, and so they've come to the church and they brought their instruments
Yes, sir.
and they participate in the morning worship. And
yes, sir.
I open that space
Yes, sir.
up
That's
to
it.
them and say,
That's
hey,
it.
come and
Yes, sir.
worship with us. And
Yes,
so
sir.
it's been a beautiful
Wow.
experience doing that in the area of evangelism,
Mm-hmm.
community engagement. And I like what you just said. You say if you don't have that, if you don't have
Right.
evangelism, if you don't have outreach, if you don't have missions,
Right.
then really
Right.
you're expecting to die.
Exactly. So true.
You're preparing for the cemetery.
That's it.
And so
That's
we
it.
should not be preparing for the cemetery.
Right.
We should be preparing for growth mindset.
So true.
This
So
is a
true.
growth mindset. We're
That's right.
growing.
That's it. That's
And
it.
this book,
Mm-hmm.
Outreach is the Architecture of Evangelism,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is a growth mindset textbook. It will really help any person who's a pastor, leader, ministry leader, musician, young adult, 5 different areas: community engagement, innovative outreach, training and development, collaborative leadership, and strategic evangelism. And you can get it Amazon, online, Walmart. You can get this book right here, Barnes and Nobles. You can get it, and it'll be at your door in just a few days if you order it like that. And so, really, go and do your research. It's out there. Certainly want to encourage you to purchase it. Somebody said, "Well, what's the cost?" It's not a whole lot. It's $25 for this soft copy, and there's a hard copy too. It's a little bit more, maybe 47. But if you get this book, it will help you in your leadership of evangelism. And so, Bishop Heath, you don't know, my brother, how much I appreciate you
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
for taking out the time out of your overwhelming schedule
Praise the Lord. Sir.
and
Praise the
being
Lord.
here with your friend. When my mother watches this, man, she's gonna be mighty proud. She's gonna say, "Oh, they're them Georgia boys.
Yes, sir.
They doing some things." And
Yes, sir.
so
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate you,
Yes,
sir,
sir. No doubt.
for
Thank
being
you.
here with
Yes,
me.
sir. Thank you.
And thank you on a more personal. Thank you for you and your lovely wife, Lakeisha, stopping by to visit my mother.
Yes, sir.
She is still talking.
Praise the Lord.
Every time we talk, how your friend doing? I said, Mama, he's doing fine. He's doing fine. I know he's traveling, but I really thank God for he and his lovely wife. We laughed, we laughed. I said, well, I know who was the butt of that joke right there. And so she got tickled. But man, thank you so much
Yes,
for
sir.
being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a friend down through the
Yes, sir.
years.
Yes,
And
sir.
thank you for your support.
Yes, sir.
And everything you've done to encourage me in my candidacy
Praise the
for
Lord.
evangelism and mission
Yes, sir.
for our
Yes, sir.
Zion. It's
Yes,
been
sir.
just
Yes, sir.
a signal blessing,
Mm-hmm.
indeed. And so I want all of you to note my friend Bishop Heath. Go look him up. He's out there, and he's doing some mighty work, even in Carter Tabernacle in Orlando.
Yes, sir.
Orlando, Florida.
Yes,
So
sir.
anything, Bishop, that you want to share as we close this session out, I just want to, because you're a published author too,
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
anything else you want to share about yourself, any books you've done, and anything you want to share, just go ahead and
Yes,
share.
sir. Well, first, let me give a shout out to your mother, and
Yes.
she, no doubt, is a jewel, and she's accepted me just like a son at
Yes,
home, and
absolutely.
no doubt, my wife and I had a chance to see her some weeks back, and it was just great being back home and seeing her. And as you experience this stage of life with your mother, kind of
Yes.
reminds me of the things that me and my mother were experiencing before she died. But at the
Yes.
same time, it's just great to be able to have this kind of
Mhm.
sharing.
Absolutely.
The second thing I would like to share is actually a quote in your book that
Okay.
I just want to hold on to, and hopefully I can put to memory.
Okay.
It's on page 117, and
Okay.
it says this:
Okay.
"The structure is not complete when the final brick is laid. It is complete when it can stand for the test of time."
Yes, sir.
And I think that for those of us who are laboring today, we ought to work in such a way
Hmm.
that after we're dead and gone,
Yes, sir.
that whatever we've done has produced or been productive for someone else to benefit and also to move forward. So
Absolutely.
so that's that. I mean, you have many great quotes, and here again, if I can just put my little promo in, outreach is the architecture of evangelism.
Yes, sir.
You really got to get this book. In fact, I plan on having Reverend Holland Shedd to come to the 5th Episcopal District so
Yes,
we can
sir.
have some trainings.
Absolutely.
But the way you present the book, the way it's written, it helps people to understand very clearly what evangelism is, how you
Yes.
do evangelism,
Yes, sir.
but also has a lot of personal insight and stories that you provided. And one I share
Okay.
is how you break down the pastor's maintenance in
Yes.
terms of the daily routines. You
Yes,
got
sir.
to get this, pastors,
Yes.
because there's a routine if you're truly engaged in it as a full-time pastor. Even
Yes.
if you work a job, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of how we go about our work from day to day,
Absolutely.
and if you're really entrenched in it and you do your
Yes.
work, God will show you the fruit of your labors.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I'll say is I really appreciate you and your wife taking the time where I can be here. And I'm also grateful my wife has traveled with me.
Yes, sir.
So,
I'm
yes, sir.
grateful to see her as well, and we look forward to seeing you at that general conference. And we're going to do all that we can do to emerge as the elected general secretary
Yes, sir.
of our
Yes,
great
sir.
Zion, the Christian Methodist Episcopal Church, because we've got a lot of work
Yes,
to be
sir.
done.
And your leadership is needed.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm not just saying it to be saying it.
Yes, sir.
We need
Yes, sir.
the type of leadership you bring
Yes, sir.
to help us to move that CME church and local churches to the next level.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And thank all of you for joining in with us and sharing with us. I want to encourage you to share this podcast on your social media pages, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or wherever you can share it, because it's shared on all of my platforms, or it will be. My website, www.hollingshedforevangelism.org, Facebook and Instagram, and TikTok. Once I reactivate it, Kingston told me, "Hey, Dad, you need to reactivate your TikTok." So I'll do that. But we're looking forward to sharing with people across the country and really around the world at our general conference held June 13 through 19, Dallas, Texas, at the Hilton Anatole Hotel. That's a huge hotel. So get your walking shoes on. Bring your tennis shoes because we're going to be walking every day. Again, thank you. Have a blessed evening. This has been our Friday talk, Evangelism Now, with Bishop Clarence Kelby Heath.